We need to talk about Kevin Bridges by Kevin Bridges and read by Kevin Bridges. There's going to be a lot of Kevin Bridges, a lot of me over the next wee while. Chapter 1. It's nearly 10 p.m. on a Friday night. The seatbelt sign has just been turned off on my plane from Heathrow to Buenos Aires. I've opened up my bag, which had previously been safely stowed away in the overhead locker. I've switched on my laptop, opened a new Word document, and here we are. Another comedian writes an autobiography. I didn't intend to have started writing on this flight, but after a failed attempt at conversing in Spanish with a fellow passenger, I need to look busy and pretend not to be out of my depth in Club World Plus. I am evidently out of my depth though. The guy had probably paid thousands for his ticket. I paid hundreds, and I'd be sat at the opposite end of the cabin, but for a senior figure at British Airways, introducing herself as a fan of my stand-up and offering a complimentary upgrade. Extra legroom, a seat that reclines into a bed, a higher standard of food, all complimentary, no four-figure sums of money required, and no working-class guilt that naturally accompanies any extravagant purchase. Complimentary alcohol as well. And flight socks. The socks. That's how the problem started. The fucking socks. The guy had a Hispanic look, and he was putting on a pair of flight socks. I'd taken Spanish lessons prior to this trip, so I know the Spanish for "where's the socks?" I practised it a few times in my head, making sure of the correct tenses and all the specifics that make first-time foreign language learners think, close enough, for fuck's sake, when they're corrected. I went in with full confidence, knowing fine well where the socks were located, but it wasn't about that. I didn't need this guy's help finding them. I had a long flight ahead. I was on my own and feeling a strange sensation of panic. I was looking for a friendly conversation and wishing to proudly showcase my new language skills. "Mi amigo, ¿dónde están los calcetines?" I asked in a throwaway tone. It felt natural. "Where did you get the socks, mate?" is how I hoped to sound. I hoped to sound cool. It was a warning shot, a show of strength, fueled by my own insecurities, flying to Argentina, on my own, a country where I know absolutely no one. It doesn't faze me. I speak the language, I'll blend in, it'll be good. My only immediate concern is finding the flight socks. The guy turned and looked at me. He looked at me far too long without speaking. It wasn't the atmosphere I'd intended to create. The question had to be answered, fast. I didn't even want a spoken answer. A pointed finger would have sufficed. The reassurance and the feeling of self-satisfaction that I'd conversed in Spanish was all that I'd been looking for. I wish I'd hurried up with, "Es tranquilo, tranquilo, mi amigo," and grabbed the socks out myself, but I'd asked the question. I'd committed. "Calcetines, calcetines," he replied, correcting my pronunciation. For the first time in years, I felt myself blushing, a proper red face. I'd hit a riddy, as it's known, in Glasgow. It got worse though. "In that bottom drawer, mate, just pull the little handle," he'd gone on, in a Birmingham-sounding accent. He'd corrected the Spanish in my question, and then, in a show of zero confidence in my ability to understand the answer in a second language, he replied in English. I'd been done. Totally done. I'd had him down as Argentinian, South American at least, but he was just a well-tanned businessman from the Midlands who spoke fluent Spanish. I tried to laugh, the small-talk department of my brain anxiously rifling through the Birmingham file. "Who's your team then? Villa, City, West Brom?" But he just went back to his iPad, back to looking at Excel documents or spreadsheets or whatever else people in suits who work on the way to work look at on their iPads. They never just chill out and play a wee bit of Angry Gran. I haven't dressed with a potential upgrade in mind. I have a hooded jumper on, jeans, and a pair of exhausted-looking Puma trainers. I'd have bought new holiday trainers, as is the tradition, but my last day in the UK was spent trying to locate Argentinian pesos. I never imagined it being so difficult, but it seems it's a dying...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?